All for coming. Really excited to share this new feature that we have, a part of our Farm Genie program. We brought Steve Miller here. Works for the whole team that created the Farm Genie program that is proprietary to First American Title. So he's going to give a quick little overview of the platform if you don't even know what it is, and then we're going to go into the new digital marketing feature that it has. I think they offer a lot of neat things for you to utilize for digital marketing, social media, all that good stuff. So we'll go through all that. I think I know everybody in here, but just in case, Lindsay Tour, First American Title, partners of Phil Baker and Michael Murphy. And we have these amazing tools to you, that's available to you to use as a resource, as a value add. So hopefully you can get on board with it and give it a try. And again, thanks for being here. I have some maps and day planners, or for those things called desk calendars, pens, pads if you want to take any of that. And then I also brought a flyer for our caravan pitch meetings, because there's several in our area and a couple private ones. So if you don't know about them, I put everything on a flyer for you to take at the end of the day. So. All right, let's get started. Thanks.
Thank you. Beautiful introduction. All right, everybody. Hello. How you doing? I'm Steve Miller. I'm with the Genie. And for those who haven't, has everybody here seen the Genie already, or is this going to be brand new for them? Brand new. Okay, so brand new. Okay, awesome. So then let me just talk a little bit about what the Genie is first. And there's really 3 sections to this system. The first 2 sections are something that Lindsay can offer you, and there's no like upsell or anything like that. It's completely free to you guys. It's part of the service that she's providing to you. It's going to allow you to look at different areas, analyze different neighborhoods, figure out where the best area is to market to, and then you'll be able to pull a list, which you can either use for direct mail, you can use it for Facebook, you can use it for CoreFact, whatever you want to do with it. And then there's a third tier third piece of the puzzle, I should say, that is an upgrade. That's mainly what I'm going to talk about today. And as she was saying, what that deals with is all of the content that you have to create to be able to market to those lists. So we're trying to do a 1, 2, 3 punch, where we find the best area to market to, we provide a list that you can actually market with, and then we give you content that you can market to the list with. Does that all make sense? Mm-hmm. Awesome. So the first thing, what we're looking at here, is what you do when you sit down with Lindsay for a meeting. She can put your name in the box here, and you guys are all in here. It's all connected to the MLS, and that allows you to save farms underneath your name. So you might have a listing that you wanted to have a map made around. You maybe want to market your listing to a just listed, just sold, or maybe you have a special neighborhood that you want to focus in on. That allows her to save it all under your name. That way it's always there. You don't forget about it. You're like, hey, what was that one area we were talking about? It's just all going to be saved in there. I'm not going to get too involved in the searching for an area, because A, that's something that she can do for you, and then B, it does take a little bit of time. So I want to make sure we get to the cool, fun stuff first. So we'll just pretend like we know what's going to go on behind the scenes here, and we'll pretend like we've already found an area that's good to market to. And at a certain point, what she's going to be able to do is actually invite you to your own dashboard. So after she sits with you, saves your farms, locks them in under your name, she'll be able to send you an invite through your email, which lets you create a username and a password, and you can log on to a dashboard that looks like this. This is going to have all of the farms that she saved for you. This is where you can manage all of your lists. You can also do things like purchase phone numbers and emails for them as well. So if you wanted to boost them up, you can do that. So for example, if I wanted to look at my Carmel Valley list, for example, I can click in it, and again, this would be a farm that she saved under my name while we're sitting together. And so now I'm at home after we've talked, and I can come in here, and anytime I need to, I can download my list right here. You can see I have a Facebook ready list, which we can upload into Facebook, and we can actually target the Facebook accounts for the people that are on that list. It's really, really powerful. The only challenge with it is you do have to know Facebook a little bit. So I recommend you be at least intermediate level knowledge with your business Facebook. Not to say that you can't buckle down and learn it. I would just say it does take a few hours of sitting down and really just going through and figuring out how to use Facebook's interface, because there's a lot of buttons. And by the way, I talk fast, so feel free to stop me whenever you guys need me to repeat something, or if you guys have a question, because I've been told I talk way too fast.
And with placing the ads, the marketing department, like I know Scott, we do Scott's or anybody else, we can help, if you get us those lists, we can place them for them.
Okay, so you have, okay, that's awesome. So you guys do custom audiences?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so yeah, part of the challenge too is we're doing what's called a custom audience with this list. So that is telling Facebook that we are a verified business. They've looked at our personal account and they've matched it with a business account. There are some verification steps that are required. Now, if you have somebody to do that for you already that's been verified, then it's super easy. All you would probably be doing is giving them the CSV file, and then your team would upload it and send it out.
Yeah.
So that makes it super, super, super easy. On top of that, though, we also have a clean mail file. So direct mail, while it seems to be kind of going away, every top producer I talk to still does it. So, there's something to that. I know it's usually a lot more investment heavy, and especially front end investment heavy before it starts to pay off. So, when I first started doing this 3 years ago, it was about 90% direct mail, 10% Facebook, and now that's completely switched. Everyone's doing Facebook because the investment's like a tenth of the cost. So we do have a clean mail file as well if you did want to do direct mail. And a real big benefit to this is it comes cleaned already. So trust, corporate owned, first and second owners on the name. It's all cleaned, ready to go. All you got to do is just give it to your printer and boom, you're good to go. So this is the second pillar, I guess. The first pillar was the pick an area. This is the second pillar where we manage all of the lists after Lindsay saved an area in here. And then the third pillar is going to be the potential upgrade if you guys wanted to upgrade. And that is for the content piece of the section. That's what I'm going to spend most of the time on. So before I jump into that, are there any questions? I know I briefly touched on it. Just any questions on this process first? Yeah.
I have a question. So on the clean file, if you're mailing or whatever,
Yes.
can we see it and kind of what I call scrub the file? Because I look through and when I get something from a title company and make sure I'm not sending it to another agent
Sure.
or somebody that I know in the community that I don't want to deal with, I take those off. So is it easy to see and go through and kind of scrub it yourself?
Very easy. I mean, it's an Excel file, so if you're used to
Okay,
working in
that's
Excel, you just
Yeah.
delete those rows. Yeah, was that a question? Okay, sorry.
This is what you meant.
Any other questions before? Okay, good, awesome.
Well, I have
So-
a question
oh, yep.
regarding so if they wanna pick a farm with Lindsay, so the Farm Genie, just to understand though, also gives access to understand who's most likely to sell.
Yeah, so you can kind of get really like narrowed down and specific within your farm areas.
So who's most likely to sell is a term that I'm always wary of, because I've seen a lot of algorithms out there who say, hey, here's the most likely to sell, and they're looking at things that I don't see it, like it doesn't make sense to me why they're looking at those things. I will tell you that there's a big difference between people who have like hot lists, because we have hot lists per se, but what we're doing is we're breaking down collections of homes, looking at the historical sales of those collection of homes, and then extrapolating, saying, well, if we've sold 30 homes each year for the past 5 years, there's a really good chance that this next year is going to be 30 homes again. And so that gives us that extra, and it's not just the turnover rate, obviously there's more to it than that, but instead of saying, hey, this particular property, 1, 2, 3, 4 Main Street is more likely to sell, I haven't seen any evidence that, I've seen some evidence that you can kind of get that, but I've seen systems that look at like credit history or credit score for whether they're gonna sell. Now maybe that might be a good indicator that they might wanna be a buyer at some point, maybe that leads to a sale, but of all the systems that are out there, when I've seen the percentage of what they get right versus the deals that they missed, it's about 50-50. So it looks like they're just kind of guessing. So we generally tend to focus on collections of homes as opposed to particular properties, if that makes sense.
So I think what Brandon is alluding to, which is kind of what I was hoping for too, is like there's certain time frames where a person has lived in their home for 7 to 10 years, and their income level is a certain thing, and I don't know how much detail you can get from this, but also, for instance, I know I want to start targeting in my area. I know a lot of people, their kids are graduating from high school, and the next 5 years is a good chance they're going to make a move now that both their kids are out. Is there a way to get that type of data?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we have a years and home filter that you can, on your list when you're working with her, she'll be able to say, hey, we only want people 5 to 10 years.
Okay.
We only want people 5+ years, whatever that date range is.
Or their equity, that's another thing, sorry.
Yeah, so we do have an LTV column, just got to take it with a grain of salt because they haven't given me a straight answer on how it's calculated, the data source, and they say that it's based on initial sale price, so there's no...
They should be able to
Second
pull the
mortgage or
loan.
HELOC.
Well, it's hard to get really accurate data.
Yeah,
We're
I
real
understand.
sticklers for accurate data, and we have to find a feed that automatically updates our system. So it's not like divorces are easy to get by going down to the courthouse.
Yeah.
Can't do that everywhere as an automation for our product. So But things like household income and all that jazz, we actually can get that by doing our optimization.
Okay.
Now I'm hesitant to click on this because this is 20,000 properties. So this is a really large list. So the optimization, and by optimization, what I mean is we can buy phone numbers, emails, demographic, and financial data. For 20,000 properties, it's going to be a hefty price tag. So just, you know,
Bear with me.
yeah. Don't think that this is how. 490. Oh, okay. So it's a smaller. This must be a smaller list actually. That's why. So I fooled myself. So $490. There's 1,700 people on this list here, and this is like our ultimate list. So this is this is part of the free package. However, this is an upgrade that you can buy on the side, just at one-offs for your list if you wanted. And things like the financial data, we have things like estimated house income, estimated wealth, home value, auto year, and auto make. For the demographic data, it's things like number of children, age range, date of birth, what language they speak, marital status, what job they have, and so forth. So you can get all that added. It's not 100% full, but there's going to be gaps in the data and stuff. But you only pay for the ones that match, so you can get that. And then really the power or the use case that people are using with with this data is they're adding that to their Facebook list. And the reason being is because the phone numbers and emails will increase the amount of Facebook accounts that we match when we upload it into Facebook. But then also this financial and demographic data, we can pre-filter our list and then we upload it into Facebook. Now Facebook, you guys have probably seen, they've changed their game completely. Can't do it based on zip code, you can't do it based on anything, hair color, whatever. They're like, no, you can't do any filtering. We can still do that by pre-filtering our list and then uploading that segment. So, they haven't said anything yet about it. And, if we wanted to target high income earners, that's really the only way to do it that I've seen.
So you have to do, basically what you're doing is doing it in advance, creating your own list and giving it to Facebook instead of having Facebook theoretically do that.
Exactly. And that is the difference between a saved audience, which is built in Facebook, and a custom audience, which is uploaded.
Okay.
And we just happen to have a better list to upload than other people because we have all this data. Okay, so that's the optimization, and now the next piece of the last piece of the puzzle is the content piece. So this is like our newest piece of the puzzle. We actually just finished this. Gosh, our CEO was working, I think, like 18-hour days for about 6 or 7 months, and we thought he was losing his mind. There's a few days there where we're like, oh, you're going crazy, aren't you? But he made it through, and we were able to get this out in the beginning of last month. And this is what we call our marketing hub. This will allow you to take all of the farms that she saves for you and create content for it within a matter of seconds. So, for instance, let's say we wanted to create a graphic. Now, graphics can be used for a variety of different things. This is not limited to Facebook, for example. You can email this graphic, you can print it out, you can use it elsewhere on your website, you can do all sorts of stuff with it. It's not just, oh, let's post it on Facebook. Now, it works really well to post it on Facebook. Things like, I'll just scroll down and we'll do the infographic first. Something like this infographic, for example. What's cool about this is this uses, you can see my area here is Carmel Valley, but I would have, and it might take a second because I'm on my phone here, but I have all my different areas that I have loaded up here, so I can switch between them. And this gives me instant content to be able to save as an image up there, and then I get a JPEG file, which I can then plug into Facebook or email it off to my Sphere or whatever I want to do. I could have specialty branding in it as well, so you could have your branded colors and everything. The infographics work really great for Facebook posts to keep your followers and your likes and the people who liked your page engaged. If you want to see what it looks like in Facebook, we even have a simulator as well that you can see. Okay, this is exactly what my ad's going to look like while we're in Facebook. Now, the end goal is going to be that you build your ad here, you press a button, and it sends it off to Facebook. Just not there yet. We asked the development team to get that to us by Christmas for a Christmas present. So we shall see.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be really cool. So just like a one button press. Because the hard part or the challenging part that we found with a lot of agents who don't know Facebook that well is the process of taking this and getting it into Facebook is where the breakdowns happen. So, and the fact that is the process seems to be a breakdown as well, because people think, oh, doesn't this just post it automatically for me? No. You have to actually save the image and then plug it into Facebook or plug it into your email. But it's still better than getting a graphic designer, having them go through a bunch of stuff and paying them, a couple $100 to make it. We also have really cool ones. So, that's, maybe neighborhood statistics aren't really working in the space that you're playing with. Well, we also have these awesome just listed, just sold templates that you can use as well for any listing you have. And what you can do is make this actually switch. And that switch. No. Nope, I don't want that one. I don't want that one. What you can do is, I saved an MLS ID here, just so I don't have to go searching for it. Any of your properties, you can type in the MLS ID, click enter, and then this is gonna change it to all of the information for that particular listing. Now, if it was a sold property, then it would say just sold, and it would have all the information as well. It pulls the images from the MLS, but if you don't like the ones that it pulls, you can click on it, and then you can select which one you want from the MLS. So it's all loaded up in there, ready to go. Look, you even got floor plans on that one. And then you can save this as an image. You can save it as an image this size. You can save it for Instagram. We have every size for all social media. So Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook. You can see exactly what it looks like in our simulators. And then we have a bunch of different styles of that as well. So the just listed, just sold campaigns are really, really popular with this system. Now that's also because we can do more than just that. We can build single property websites in this system as well, which I'll show you in a second. So it's almost like a full just listed suite. Now, one of the most, what's a good word to use here? One of the most successful campaigns that we've done and we've tested out in the Bay Area with a lot of, we're working with a few agents in the Bay Area, and we did these market report lead capture, lead generation ads. So the concept was we would get our list in the Genie, we'd have Lindsay save Carmel Valley for us. It would be just Carmel Valley people, and then the ad we would send out would be something like this, where it says, click here to get your free Carmel Valley Market Insider. So obviously they want to get that because it's the only people we're sending it to is the people in Carmel Valley. So you're not wasting money with your 25-mile radius or whatever it is that you have to hit people in Carlsbad and outside of Carmel Valley where maybe it doesn't hit them as close to home as it would be if we used one of our lists. We got, let me see if I can just dig through this real quick and see if I can find. Maybe it's in PDF here. Maybe that one right there. Hopefully it's that one. Here's an example of the one we did. So we made the first ad was this one right here. We used our closed book cover. It said, wow, did you know Rockbridge home prices are up 12.8% in the last 90 days? Get your insider report now. We did what's called a lead generation ad in Facebook. And when somebody clicks on a lead generation ad in Facebook, there's a form that pops up. So that's where we're actually collecting the person's information. We're saying, hey, we have this market report, you want it, we need your information. They fill it out, and then the coolest part is we can actually, when we make this, this graphic in here, the system will make a URL for us. And so we can actually link people to a website that has the report. And so what we can do is when somebody fills out our ad on Facebook, we then link them to the report, and we don't have to worry about delivering it or emailing it afterwards. It's just all self-service. And we've collected their information in the process. So it's a really nice, easy, automatic way of getting leads. And then you can see here the results here for this one. I think it's even done better than that. I mean, this was in July, so it's a few months ago. But we spent $76 right here, and we got 30 clicks. 8 people filled out the form, and that was in one day. And 2 of them turned into an appointment, and 1 of them turned into a listing. That's Dave Higgins up in the Bay Area.
Wow.
Might not be super typical. However, the result, like as far as like turning into a listing that quick, but the actual number of clicks and leads and stuff that you're able to get, it seems to be very consistent. Like $80, we're getting like 10, 20 clicks. It's really crazy. It was blowing our minds when we were first doing it. We're like, okay, this is that easy, this is that good, and we're thinking, well, maybe the leads aren't, maybe it's junk leads, maybe it's a bunch of spam, but no, they're legit people, and it's turning into appointments and it's turning into listings. And so I have a few more that I can send to Lindsay to show you if you want more proof. But that's just so this is just the graphics section here. Now we can also do things like reports. And by the way, I'm going to go through this and it's going to feel like a lot. You don't have to know how to, just kind of get it in your mind of what it does is at a high level, and then you'll be like, okay, this can fit into my strategy somewhere. These market reports are probably my favorite piece of the puzzle here. Like, for example, I just clicked on that, and if I wasn't on my hotspot, I'd probably go a little bit quicker, but it's making a 15-page report right now using real-time data for Carmel Valley that I can then create a PDF out of, or a video. Video is the best or the highest converting format on Facebook. So videos get more clicks, videos get more watches. And so you can create a slideshow video. You just click generate video up here, and then you can see, boom, we can change the number of seconds per slide. We can add some piano music. And so forth. Now, that's so stupid. Now, what's cool about this is that again, the data is real time. So every time you come in here, it's going to be up to date. You don't have to worry about coming in here changing numbers, looking at anything. It pulls over the sold listings. Again, it can be branded to different colors and stuff. I just have it black and white for the sake of simplicity. But if you wanted to have your own custom, blues and stuff in there, totally doable. And then one of the coolest parts I think is that it actually does the branding page. Oh, so you set it up once in the beginning when you first sign on to this. And then after that, it's done. You don't have to worry about it. Your branding gets put on all the pieces in the right spots. So that's really nice. You can customize it for a particular person as well. So let's just say we wanted to send this out to Lindsay Tour. Boom. And you can see right in the middle there, it's going to say prepared exclusively for whoever you put in there. And so what that allows you to do is if you need to send it to a special potential prospect or something like that that needs a little bit of extra, or maybe it's a high-end area and you want to make it look a little bit nicer, you can do specific ones. You can save that as a PDF and send that specific one out. And then I won't get into too much, but you can edit these as well, and you can move the slides around, you can delete the slides, you can change the styling. It's like fully customizable to where you can go in here and play around in it for hours and get lost. And I do that all the time, actually. The funnel section here is the next section. Now this is landing pages. We call them funnels. I don't like the word funnels. I don't think it makes sense. These are landing pages. And there's two types of landing pages that we can do in the system. There's a like a generic lead generation landing page, which has like a picture of the report on it that you can do and all that. So it's like if you need a place to send people to download the report, instead of using Facebook's built-in form, you can do that. But the more exciting one to me are let's just do Carmel Valley here. And then we click continue. You can see it's a 5-step process here. So the design, so we have single property websites now. And it looks like we can preview these now. These are new. Let me just click on that. I don't know if that works. They're working on it constantly and always adding new stuff to it. So. But once we get in here, this is going to give us an editor where we're going to be able to edit this landing page. And now, very similar to all the other stuff I was doing with the MLS ID, we can actually copy and paste that in there. And now, within a few seconds, we actually have a brand new single property website for that property. Now, what's cooler than that is, since I kind of, I had initially selected Carmel Valley as my area, this site also pulls over some neighborhood stats for the area itself. So, you'll want to have the farm that the listing is in, but then what you get is almost like our landing page. Lindsay, you've seen these before, where it's almost like our landing page afterwards as well. So it's a single property website along with these up-to-date neighborhood statistics, which is like a double whammy for the homeowner or for the open house potentials. What do you guys think of that? Not bad? And then you can click continue, and then you can create. So it takes like a few seconds to even make a single property website. It'll give you a URL. It's like myneighborhood.re, and then it'll have some cool stuff after it that you can paste wherever you want and share. But then you could also create a custom URL and forward to it if you wanted to have something fancy. Like if you wanted 10521 Corti Jardin Delmar.com, you could have that. Now, speaking of websites, so the next section is the web embed section. And the web embed section is, now has anybody here seen our landing page program that we did a little while back? One of the things because we have landing pages that go over neighborhood statistics and break it down in a bunch of different ways. And one of the challenges we came across was that you guys already have websites most of the time, and you don't want to juggle separate ones. It's kind of hard to go back and forth. So we got that a lot. And one of the things that people requested was, hey, is there any way to inject your awesome data into our existing website? And so that's the answer to this, because what this allows us to do is save these as a line of code, and then all we have to do is just copy and paste that code right into our website. It's just like a Facebook pixel if anybody's done that. You can either copy and paste it into your website as is, or you can even send it to your web developer. And I'll show you a little example of what this looks like, because big challenge of having your website and having community sections on a website is, you're not going to have a lot of information for each section just because it's hard to get all that data. You'd have to go into the MLS. It'd be a nightmare to keep everything managed. So what we can do is, and you'll see most agents when they have a community section like La Jolla right here for Stephanie, she's got the IDX search with the map and then the list of listings, and it's good. It's a placeholder, but it's not differentiated. Everybody's website looks like that. And so what we're able to do is inject our panels or our web embeds. We also call them content Legos. I think that's a good a good visual. We put our content Legos in here, and these aren't just pictures. These are actually interactive pieces that they can click on and change the data around. And the data is all updated automatically, so you're going to always have up-to-date neighborhood information for your community sections on your website. So you might have a Carlsbad section, you might have a Carlsbad Village section. You could have separate data streams on each one of those for whatever the boundary is. Because this, this would be the map that we pulled in the Genie system, and then so all of the data is exactly ported over from those areas. It's really, really, really cool. And then some of these also act as lead capture, so you can see these are like, here's a list of the solds, here's a list of the actives right here, fast facts, and then we have things like, here's like the download your free report type of thing that I was showing you before, where we can link to it. So we just linked straight to the PDF in this case, and then boom, here's the report for the person to come and take a look at. And then what's really cool is actually some of these, we get like really fancy, and I always like showing this off because it's cool. You can actually blur the address on the solds, so if you want to use it as another lead capture, if you don't want to give that information away. Once this goes, okay. Sometimes my hotspot doesn't agree with me, but you can click blur address, and then boom, now they can't see, they can see all the information, but they can't tell exactly what the address is, and if they want to see it, they can click on it, and then boom, there's another lead capture form that would pop up. Now, you might be wondering, well, where do all the leads go on these lead captures that you're talking about and some of these forms that I'm talking about? Well, we have a lead section here that they would all get dumped into, and it would tell you, this came from this embed, this came from this website, and so forth. However, we can also hook up your CRM to this and do some kind of email forwarding. So if you have, do you guys use a particular CRM? No?
Everybody kind of uses their own. We offer conversion through Coastal Premier Properties, but we encourage each agent to use their own.
Sure, yeah, whatever's best and whatever works for their process. Definitely, and that's why we try to make it agnostic to a CRM, because there's tons of them out there. They all do great stuff. We want to fit into every situation. So it's not too hard for us to make it to where the lead comes in here, but then it gets pushed into your existing CRM. You don't have to worry about two systems. And then last but not least is the direct mail piece. Now the direct mail piece is super exciting because we've been trying to do direct mail automation for a while now, and it's still not completely finished yet, but what we do have at this point is you can come on here, and just like the graphics, you can create 300 DPI print pieces that you can then save and then send to your printer to print out. The full automation in the end is going to have a button that says send to printer, and then you'll have like a link that you hook your printer up to at some point, and then it can send it over to them automatically. It'll depend on whether or not they have the setup for that and stuff, but that's the direction we're taking it towards. So, and then obviously once we get those built in, if you're on the system, that all comes free as an upgrade. You don't pay more or anything like that. But these direct mail pieces are really awesome. There's like fronts and backs, and then we also have the same thing with the single property content, where if you wanted to just put in your MLS ID, you can create a print piece now for that. It just lets you as well. All of the every single piece of content that you create is going to get saved into your media library. So you're going to have access to everything right here, and you can see here's all the URLs that we have. So now one of the things you just to think about is the fact that we can do these videos, and it gives us a link to the video. Now, when you email a video, if you're trying to do like sphere of influence marketing, sometimes it takes a while to do like a 40 megabyte video. Maybe you put it on Vimeo, so you can just link it, but instead of doing that, we actually have a URL now. You just copy and paste that right into your email, and you can share stuff super easy. That's actually really useful when you want to share the PDFs, because there's no Vimeo for PDFs except, go in like OneDrive or something like that. So you can just
go into the body of the email?
Yeah, you could just, well, no, I wouldn't embed it. You can't embed videos unless you're using BombBomb, I think, does that. But they just click it, it'd take them right to the video, much like how you did the PDFs on your email that you sent out. You can click on that, and it's super easy to share stuff. So I hope that value makes sense, because when I do a lot of mass emailing, and when I got to send out like a 20 megabyte PDF, it just bogs the system down. It takes forever, and I hate it. So hopefully my pain is shared, and then this would fix it. And then let's see here. I think that's all the lead section. Yeah, so I briefly touched on the leads, but just so you know, and I do a lot of testing, so nothing is like really organized. When you're going through, you would organize it a little better and name it a little bit more robustly than just La Jolla over and over again. But you can see here, as the leads come in for these particular websites, these are all particular funnels or web landing pages that I've created. So this one has 4 leads that have filled it out. This one probably Okay, this one has 4 as well. This one has 0 and so forth. It's just a nice, easy way to manage the leads. But again, if we're going to be pushing these to your CRM, then you probably won't even have to worry about this section. But know it's there. You can't do any emailing out of it, so it does not function as a CRM. But yeah, so and most of the people that are on the system, they're getting it forwarded to their CRM. So now that's the system in a nutshell. I know it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff that you can do. So any questions before I talk about what it takes to get on this bad boy?
Well, I mean, I know from, because I work with all our agents, and I know that a couple things. One, there's, you know, various platforms kind of like this where they can plug in and play and stuff, but they don't like to get in and do that. Like we have a 3 to 4 person marketing department that they usually just ask us, hey, can I get this piece of content, and we create it for them. So I'm wondering if there's a way that we can, when you go into how you get on this, if we can get a
You want a brokerage level account?
A brokerage level one, and then we create, or even if they get their individual ones and we get their login and we handle the, even though it's simplified for agents to user friendly, like it would be ideal for some agents may want to do it on their own, but other agents may want us to just, they don't want to worry about that. They just want to sell the
They
home,
want to sell homes.
and then we create that for them. We sign into their account and do that. So.
Totally, yeah. So agents, I think that's what they should be doing, is selling homes as opposed to making content. Now, sometimes it's unavoidable, like you said. However, I think the brokerage solution that we're currently building right now might be, I mean, maybe we need to up the conversation and have a secondary one with my CEO, because he's working on a brokerage solution where you could have it centralized, and then each agent will get an account, but you can have a centralized doer section, because each account is limited to 50,000 targets. So that might be enough to cover a few agents, but after a while, there's going to be not enough targets for you to hit. So we do have a brokerage level plan that gives it to you centrally. The agents can choose to upgrade on that if they want, and then your central team would be the one that does the work. So, I mean, if that's something that seems like it'd be more of a...
Yeah, we'll have that talk after.
Yeah,
this.
yeah, for sure. But otherwise, and so that could be something we talk about. Otherwise, though, for individual agent accounts, you're looking at $97 a month. And that gives you up to 50,000 targets to hit. Now, normal price on this, if MSRP, if I'm going to an agent, not somebody that Lindsay brought me to, is $197 a month. So working with our partners, you get a $100 a month discount. So be sure to thank her. The other option is we have an annual one. So if you wanted to jump on for a year and pay up front, you just pay 6 months worth. So it ends up being like $47 a month. It's like $582, and you get it for an entire year. And you make content for all your farms for the entire year. So that's, I mean, it's, as you can tell, or as you can imagine, it's flying off the shelf at that price right now. So we're getting quite a few people on it. No one in this area yet, because again, we're only bringing this to people who our partners bring it to. So again, you guys have open field to kind of hit this if you want.
That was actually my other question when you said no one else in the area. So because the graphics and stuff, are they gonna, you know, is our competitors gonna have the same looking graphics as you know, or
Sure.
we and that might be something where then we have, you know, a graphic designer in house, we can take that and maybe pull some of that, you know, stuff, but then make it kind of a custom to us too.
Sure.
So.
The design and colors you can always change. And then now there's also a function of the fact that you could have a subdivision, but you could also have the neighborhood level, but you could have the city level, or you know, the zip code level. It can be different levels of analysis. So you could have 2 agents in Carmel Valley, but maybe one is doing the entire Carmel Valley. The other one is doing, what's a place in Carmel Valley that's not covered? There you go, sure, that one. Yep, so maybe somebody's doing the subsection there. So the infographic would look the same from a design standpoint. I mean, not even from a color standpoint, from just a layout standpoint. However, the data would be completely different because one's looking at Carmel Valley as a whole, the other one's looking at a subdivision. And the subdivision person is probably gonna get better results because it's much more focused in and it's really relating to those people who live in an area of 200. You know, maybe there's 200 homes in that subdivision, whereas if they see Carmel Valley, they're like, yeah, kind of, but those other homes that are $4 million, it doesn't relate to my home, right? So the more focused in you get, the more the data really speaks to the homeowners and the better results that we've seen.
I think it's great too because sometimes we get caught up in the creative of things, like even if you're doing print marketing or if you're outdoor knocking and you're dropping and you're like, what do I send? But you want to have like, hyper-local content to that neighborhood that's gonna resonate with those owners. So being able to have that at a click of a button is huge. It saves you a ton of time, and it's actual, live, up-to-date data that you can take and then use to door knock or whatever.
Yes, yes. A lot of people ask me, hey, isn't this the same thing that Breakthrough Broker does? Or, what's the other one? Is it Curator? There's another system out there that does stuff. And yeah, it's the neighborhood content is really the big differentiator, because a thing like Breakthrough Broker will give you, top 5 things to do before selling your home, and here's like a thing that you can post. It's like, cool, that's cool information that people want to read, but it's not data that people care about. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, that's cool, and then keep going. Whereas if you're saying, hey, click here to get your free market insider report, I'm the local expert in the area, I have all this data, I know the area better than anybody else. That's going to speak to them a little bit more, especially if they're in the market for selling their home. So.
Is anyone in here currently doing Facebook ads where you're kind of targeting a specific area, kind of, sort of?
Only for
Or
articles.
just sold and things like that?
Yeah. Not just sold, but articles.
Articles?
More for, with Scott, we do a lot of promoting of his open houses.
Just
Okay.
just listed open house.
Yeah,
We'll do
but
that.
you're farming a specific area, it's
Yeah.
strips,
Yeah,
right?
how do you create the target list for doing a just listed like that?
He does that really.
So, on as of like 2 weeks ago, or whenever Facebook made the targeting a lot more broad.
Yeah.
But, we used to target, down to the mile of where we're targeting now. You have to target 15 miles.
15 miles,
But,
yeah. So there's a solution for that, where we can actually, in the Genie, we can locate the just listed, so you can draw a boundary around it, and then you can have like 1,000 properties.
yeah,
in
that would
area.
be great to have the
That's that's really what I'm looking for.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
fully capable with the system.
It's kinda like you're cheating Facebook's system now.
because
Right.
we're just
You're
putting
able
the
to-
specific people
Exactly.
that are.
Right.
Exactly.
Right, see, I know, I thought when they changed their rules, and I was like, okay, we're gonna upload this list, they're gonna be able to tell that they're all in this zip code, and they don't want us doing it by zip code anymore. But they haven't said any, I think they still wanna make the money on the advertising, they just gotta put up a front that they're saying, hey, we don't like this discriminatory stuff,
I mean,
which is fine. But marketing's discrimination, so I don't know how they're getting around it.
yeah, but
It's
so
like-
why is that discriminate? I mean,
Well, because
It's a zip code.
you're not supposed to market to people based on income, nationality, things like that when you're selling homes. It's for housing, employment, and credit ads. Those are the 3.
in employment too. And the thing is, Facebook's algorithm though, so even though they make it more broad, I mean, they still work on your behalf, so the Facebook algorithm's still doing the
Yeah, of course.
discrimination, like, it's just, you're not getting to do it. It's still finding, like, even though we're not picking out as specific of things, the Facebook algorithm still targets it to who's most likely to.
But your ad spend does increase by the fact that you have to do that 15-mile radius. And well, I guess the ad spend increases because there are people that you don't care if they see your ad or not that will see it, because it's such a broad range. It's like you might not even want anybody in this outside circle to see the ad, but you can't help it. And so you're
Right.
spending money on marketing that you don't want to spend there. Whereas with ours, it limits it to the 1,000 people that it doesn't matter who sees it on that 1,000. You want every single person to see it, so you're going to be good either way. Type of thought process. Yeah, it takes people a second to kind of get the Facebook thing in their heads, because they think, or some people think, that when we upload a list, it's going to send the ad out once to all those people, and then that's it, and then there's no more ad. It's kind of just a boop and then done. But it's like, no, it sends it to some people, it sends it to others. One person might have 500 businesses advertising to them, another person might only have 2. So your ad's going to show to the person that has 2 advertising to them a lot more, because there's less competition. That makes sense? Little Facebook class for you at the end there. So, do you guys have experience with Facebook, or is it just like a total mystery? Okay, good. Then you guys are like ahead of the curve, because, boy, I talked to some agents and they're like on MySpace still or something. They're like, what is it? Is it MySpace? I'm like, no, it's not MySpace anymore. It's long gone.
Yeah.
I tried. The biggest problem I have is I don't really know where it goes. I mean, we sit down, we try to target, but
It being
it's
like,
my ad.
He
Like,
wished,
who
he
really
wishes
sees
he
it?
could see the
But
specific
it's just-
people that see it. Yes, we pixel and retarget
I
the
see
people
what
that
you're
click on it, but like he wants to see the names of the people that look at it.
so you're not allowed to get information through digital marketing unless somebody opts in on a form somewhere. So that's why you can
get
either
it.
send them to that form, or you can use Facebook's. It is unfortunate. We used to do, they used to show you audience insights, which was the coolest thing of all time. Back in the day, about 2 years ago, you could upload our list. Let's just say it was Carmel Valley. It's like, say 10,000 people on it, whatever. We upload the list, and then we would able to see what's called insights, where it would tell us, of those 10,000 people, 50% of them liked the Carlsbad patch. Another 50% of them liked the farmer's market or whatever. So it's like, oh, okay, well, let's go advertise at the farmer's market then. You know, it's like the perfect thing, and then they just completely scrapped all that. So.
And the match rate they used to show you.
Yeah, they used to show you the match rate too. So when we upload our lists into Facebook, they do not tell us how many people match. It's kind of a bummer. It was about 50 to 60% on average when we were doing it, and we could see. And if you do the phone numbers and email edition, which I showed you, then it actually increases that match rate because it's easier to match those things. But yeah, they don't tell us how many match anymore. You can't do by zip code. You can't do by anything. So they're really tightening everything up. Luckily, we have a workaround right now, so take advantage while we got it.
So with picking the specific list, because that's what a lot of people want to do, whether they're sending postcards or doing the Facebook ads or email marketing or whatever it may be, is there anything that we can do? I mean, we said years and potential debt to income ratio or what, you know, but is there anything that we can do to not just target a whole neighborhood? Target.
Yes, so there's a few different filters that you can do. Obviously, owner occupancy is going to be one. Years in home is going to be one. Property type, so if you want to limit it to condos, townhomes, or single family or multifamily. We can do it based on bedroom count. The reason why we use bedroom count is because it's the best indicator we have of housing size in the data that's full enough. So like square footage would probably be a better one you'd think, except for the fact that most of the time they're guessing the square footage with their thumb, and it's blank in a lot of situations. So bedrooms are the most full of the data, and that is a good indicator of family size and a good indicator of housing movement. On top of that, we on part of our optimized data, you can actually see like number of kids. So sometimes what I'll do is we'll look at the number of kids, we'll see that they got 6 kids, we'll see it's a 3-bedroom home, and then you start doing the math and you're like, okay, somebody's sleeping in the bathroom, they need to, or you know, maybe the kids are out of the home and they need to downgrade. Whatever the case may be, that at least you can go into the conversation with that information kind of, you know, in your back pocket.
A lot of times too, just playing around with it, especially if you're kind of farming a bigger area, it's really fun to play around with the bedroom count because you can see where the turnover is happening the most. So if it's, you know, those 5+ bedrooms, let's say in a collection of homes in an area, then maybe we highly target those people who own those 5+ homes, maybe one extra time that month or something, based off the data showing that that's really what's turning over. So you can kind of get creative with that too.
We call those our boost groups. You know, maybe you do like an EDDM route. Maybe you hit everybody on EDDM because it's cheap, and then you say, oh, well, these, you know, it's 1,000 people, but these 300 5-bedrooms that she said, these are moving over at 12% turnover rate, and they're higher price, and there's no competition. Let's send out an extra postcard to that little subgroup. And then we can send a postcard about 5-bedroom homes. Maybe we can highlight a 5-bedroom home that you've sold before and what you did for the owner in that case and so forth. So it can get as detailed and focused in as you want to work for. Unfortunately, it's not 100% click the button and everything's done for you and you have 20 new listings. I haven't seen that system yet, and if there is, I want to buy it. But you know what? This makes it so much easier, and then you also have Lindsay on your side, who's like the best title rep of all time and my favorite. So
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
I work with a lot of title reps too. I work with a lot of agents, but I work with a lot of title reps too, and Lindsay's the best. So just treat her well.
And Phil.
No, I was
Oh.
gonna say, yeah, I'm not even in the room, but
He's cool too.
Lindsay's good, Lindsay's good.
He's cool too.
Oh gosh.
The whole First American team is just awesome.
Yeah, they're fantastic. I have fantastic experience
just-
with them.
It's nice to have, you know, programs like this to be able to help, you know, because
Yeah.
it's the worst when you're having to do so much research on your own to try and pick, you know, areas to even begin farming or marketing to. This is really nice to be able to have this data to support where you're gonna spend your time, your money, all of that. And then kind of being able to take it to the next level with all the bells and whistles to have.
Definitely.
Yeah, so if we haven't sat down and picked an area or looked at an area that you're currently farming, let me know. I'm happy to sit with you and do that. So, I have all my info over here and Phil's if you need it. Any other questions on any of that? Was that helpful? Do you like this system?
Pretty cool.
Yeah, so, so, you know, if this is something that you guys, I mean, I don't know if we need to have the discussion of maybe a brokerage level first before, anybody signs on individually or not, but I
Yeah,
mean.
people are welcome to do whatever they wanna do, but I was just wondering if there was something that
Gotcha.
we could use this content for any and all of our agents instead of just a specific person that signs up, so.
So what I'll do on that end is I'll get in touch with my CEO and see if we can set up an appointment with him to come in and talk about that since he's leading the brokerage piece. And then in the meantime, I mean, does anybody want to sign, or do you need more information? Maybe sit down with Lindsay. Does anybody want to
That's
sign
what
up
I'd
now,
like
or?
to do. Yeah, that's what I'd like to do, to have more information, because it was overwhelming for me.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot.
So,
Now what happens is, obviously, we're not just gonna get you on the system and then let you have like free reign. We'll set up an appointment. We'll go through, you'll go through with a specialist and they'll help you set everything up, get your branding taken care of, and then show you around the system. And help you out with your first bid ad and stuff, so. Okay, well, hey, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Alright,
Thank you everyone
Thank you
for
very much.
coming and having us carry sheets if you guys wanna take them.